That is such a great question that I love to ask everybody else. When it's asked back to me, what is worship?
What worship is, it's the response that he's worth.
Giving something that's of worth to someone who's worthy.
Worship is the enjoyment of the creation that God gave us.
When your heart begins to realize that God is supreme, and then it begins to get expressed in different ways.
The picture we get of the kingdom of God is of congregational worship. So this is something that's going to last for eternity.
There's really something special, I think, going on in the country. There's so many unique expressions that have not been tapped into yet.
So what's really cool about the Royal Anthems project is that because worship is such an important piece of the life of the church, it's really saying, let's start with this important voice and at least try and do something there to bring some unity.
Royal Anthems is about an expression of worship from the local church that represents the breadth of Canada.
The big, vast land with a few people.
Really with a heart for the nation of Canada and burden for it. There was a million missing pieces of infrastructure and where you would even start. And the truth is, it almost felt like, is this worth starting?
Gathering people together is very challenging. It's also very expensive to do. So, but there is this shining beacon of opportunity called Crossroads that has had a strand of national impact for decades. And for some reason, God has allowed for it to be a partner with the local church, stand on the sidelines, I would say, of what the local church is doing.
And we needed to start somewhere, and we had seen that songwriting specifically was something that a lot of artists hadn't really ever collaborated on.
There are conferences for worship leaders, there's training for worship leaders. It's not very common that a bunch of Canadian worship leaders would come together to write songs.
They usually had to go to Nashville or some other place to find some people that could write with to come back, and we thought, there's a void there, why don't we start there?
What's been really cool is seeing it coast to coast. Like the group here, I was surprised. I thought, I was gonna be one of like 3 people from BC and then everyone from Ontario or something. And it's not. It's actually really representative of provinces all across the country.
22 invites, 22 came. That's an impossibility in itself. In each of the rooms, we didn't even know who was going to be in what room, but from room to room as you went. Friendships, new connections, vulnerability, thoughts and beliefs of the same God and unity, and watching the songs that have come out of it have been far more miraculous than we ever could have guessed.
And if we can write songs and do creative work that the church will be unified in singing and experiencing together, that I think will start just intrinsically unifying the church together. Hopefully this is just a catalyst into more of this.
Because we're in a battle where there's a spiritual battle going on, and these are the people who are at the forefront of the battle, who are leading the people into that battle. So it's a pretty important role, and it's just amazing to see it come to fruition here at Crossroads. So yeah.
What you're about to see is going to rock the nation of Canada and the world.
And then, who knows what's possible?
I think that Canada could become the spiritual leader in the world today, because Canada is a unique world. In fact, the world has come to Canada.